War, the cards predict. What has that to do with me, she asks. Your sons, your friends, I reply. And the men who give the nod hide in palaces of gold and are glad of all those shoot-'em-up video games that prepared your sons for years before now. While they drum their fingers on burning coals and think what? Or play some game that starts with cocaine and ends with desolation. But those men will die. So why the delusion? Why is history as taught in schools always on the side of the brutal man who wins by slaughtering whole cities? Not the desolation, the ones beaten and humiliated then disappeared. Not one name is remembered beyond a family of birth, and even then just as a footnote. Not the man broken, filled with nightmares, who will put that bullet through his brain if he could, but settles on a jack of fentanyl because all the guns were taken. Will do death slowly enough to be repelled by those who can never know what a man will do when all his choices are taken. What a woman will do when she sees the only way this hurt can end. And so we find our true place within the universe. All those names engraved on a cenotaph are not meant to be remembered. The walls are built to exude power like dopamine, body counts like hieroglyphs to the future, illegible when the wave comes, or the clouds black out a sky for 1,000 years. Mama? Father? Are you wisdom holders? What do you know? How long does a body live beyond a ration card? How do your daughters hunt when the creatures that would sustain her children are ashes in the memory of pre-extinction? How do your sons carve the lintel of a bombed-out home and fish a plastic river? Is this a song of emptiness? How can it be when we've been across this mapless ocean, it seems, with liars steering a ship into a black night with only Starlink for navigation? That has been foretold. That is destiny. And so we find our place within the universe. I want to fall to my knees when I remember what we walked for in our millions. The silent protests insinuated with paid men in flattery or ka-chink who turned this way of peace into a river of blood and a famine of unprecedented decay. The magnitude of greed. The desperation required to agree. The stupidity, the self-righteousness. In this we find our true place within the universe. Each time this doctrine of arrogant godliness is thrust into a headline, there is a jostle for front row seats to watch the tamed lions jump through hoops of fire with a big man holding the chair and a whip. It's the money that traps those proud relatives of savannah and jungle and violates their sovereignty for sport. And so we find our true place within the universe. It gets worse until we are few. We who think survival is life. So know this. Your true place within the universe is superfluous. Or it is unknown. To examine and sink within the word soups fed to you relentlessly, to see what is really being done, is an examined life. To realize you know nothing of order is to panic. When you thought you were to be spared what others who are deluded into believing are less than you are not. You were asked to agree. Then you were told to agree. Then shame got added and now you don't know anything. The lone shooter who gives an excuse to take away the tools of the hunter who only takes what will feed a family. Who puts him up to that mass slaughter? How is he eliminated? What secret threat causes his actions? Who will not do what they are warned they must when their children are gagged and bound in cords of metal wire in a secret basement? There can only be one outcome. We are rushed to blame, all questioning ridden over by 1,000 new laws that will not feed you or ever make you safe. You must run because you are part of this fiction. We are bred to blame just as we are bred to feel smug. It is subtle. This give me a child till he's 7 and I'll show you the man agreement by hidden adversaries. Blame feeds the monster that looks like you, that devours your children and what you were led to believe would be happiness. You are fed poison that is made yummy with a cocktail of 20-second ads of joy. Some god who never learned to stop the desecration. Your kids will think blame and shame are necessary. It's bully and humiliate or suck it up and take it. Praise for nothing as the burning gets closer and you realize you didn't teach them to protect the house from ruin. You bought the lie that children should be children and didn't have to know what ancestors knew to be necessary. How to live when summer and winter erase safety you thought was inviolate because you are not one of the chosen and the power doesn't work anymore. Nothing is necessary. The Louvre will be abandoned. Waves will rise and desert grow and fire take the elder trees because their families could not stand before the bulldozers. Few will survive, and one day around the fire with the rats turning slowly on the spit you will know that happily ever after is fool's gold and is dispersed like fog on what was once an early morning. Life will be life, whether it seems dead to small minds that forget the forest and all that makes a forest, because it's now endless canola fields, soy fields, and killing fields, glyphosate and the death of birds and worms and cicadas that always thought they'd have 7 years, or the dust you dare not breathe. And so we find our true place within the universe.